There was a landmark case happening in London yesterday. A parliamentary vote has to happen before the government can invoke Article 50. Yet again we have another vote on this subject. Will we ever be out of the EU, like the 17 million plus people wanted? Let's take a look. We are at the point now of Brexit, and that seems to be the main focus at the moment. But that's not a bad thing. Theresa May is now saying she will invoke Article 50 by March next year. But this can't happen without a parliamentary vote. The government at the moment, though, are challenging that in the High Court. 11 Supreme judges, no less, will decide if this appeal is met. If that appeal isn't upheld, then the government have to go to the European High Court. And at last, I agree with something that the government is doing. So do we really have a voice? We have said as a nation that we want out, okay? Not everyone wanted out, but 17 million of us did. Now, the Attorney General said that the referendum was legally irrelevant by the High Court. If that's the case, then why did we have a vote? I have said before, David Cameron only wanted the referendum to appeal for the clutches of power. We as a nation were asked if we wanted to leave the EU. We as a nation, certainly 17 million of us, said yes, but still this is being dragged out. The EU Referendum Act 2015 passed on the understanding that the result would be implemented by the government. They are, after all, the ones that are running the country. Now, it appears the longer this is dragged out, many members of the House are being dragged kicking and screaming out of the EU. Now, I would argue that the government are there working for us. Therefore, then, does that go for the Supreme Court as well? I don't know. They decide that if someone is accused of radical terrorist preaching, they can be deported, and this has happened in the past. That's for the safety of this country, and that's fair enough. But as a nation, we have spoken. We have asked and told the government what we want. As taxpayers, as almost indirect owners of this land, why can't the government that is elected in by us, why is it being decided and almost being stopped by the Supreme Court? We as a nation have been asked, with all this going on, what was the point in causing unrest and asking us with regards to the people protesting in the Remain? James Eadie, who was arguing the case for the government, says prerogative powers are constitutionally sound, not suspect. He also mentioned a dualist system we have in the UK. That's for the government to conduct treaties under their powers, and it's up to Parliament to give effect to them treaties under legislation. Is the government being what we thought it was all along? Just puppets to the real people whose faces we don't see. Supreme Court President Lord Neuberger said the court was aware of the interest in the case. But just who is Lord Neuberger? Well, apparently critics branded him a Europhile after he stated rulings from Europe helped English judges take a more principled and structured approach to decision making. Lady Brenda Howe, Deputy President, said that the Brexit vote was not legally binding in Parliament. Another judge at the top table of the court is one Lord Jonathan Sumption, who once said his £1.6 million a year earnings were puny. Many of the judges hearing the case from the government were educated at Eton. Now, I pointed out on many occasions of many members of a certain family who were also educated at Eton, and that family has a vested interest in the fact that we stay inside the membership of the EU. Need I say more? It all seems to me that once again our voices are not being heard. Yes, the exit on Brexit has to be done properly. Yes, things have to be put in place to protect us. However, it does seem to me that someone, somewhere, is dragging their heels and prolonging the exit for whatever purpose. Have you been watching the case? What do you think, and will we ever leave the EU? Let me hear your comments. By all means, please click subscribe and check out the links in the channel banner. And check me out on Snapchat for real-time thoughts on politics and just what I get up to away from this channel of politics. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.